Hey everybody, Kristen here. I was just coming on for a minute because I wanted to talk about something that I had been working through this week. I made a feather fan this week just because I was working through some stuff and I wanted to engage my inner child a little bit. As so many of you know, I've been taking a tarot class, and I had fallen a little bit behind on the weekly assignments with watching all of the modules and doing readings for classmates. And I had gotten kind of hard on myself. I was at 70% when the rest of the class was coming around to taking the last class, and I totally withdrew from class and from the application that we use to participate and show up for one another. I completely secluded myself in a way that I realized was indicative of something that I had done as a kid. When I fell behind on my homework, there was always a lot of shame involved in that. And so I separated myself because for me, that shame came as like, I wasn't smart, or nobody would want to be around me, and it's embarrassing, and all the things that little kids tend to internalize as being bad or wrong, but it just turned out that my schedule got a little busier. Like, I'm self-employed, as so many of you know, so my schedule did increase, and I wasn't extending myself the grace to allow for that. I didn't reach out to anybody. I fell into a little place of shame, and I separated myself from the community, which is kind of, we need community. So for me to do that was like me punishing myself for falling behind in a class that I took for fun. I opted to take that class. I don't need it to further my progress. I took it because I thought it would be fun. And then I sucked the fun right out of it by being so hard on myself for falling behind. I've since finished, but in the time that I gave myself, I wanted to finish. Where prior to that, and not before I saw the pattern, I couldn't finish, and I got further away from it. And when I realized the pattern, I said, well, I'm going to give my inner child the space to rebel for a minute, feel the feelings, and then I'm going to love her up, and I'm going to give her space to decide when she's ready to get on board with finishing that class. And if I didn't finish it, that was okay too. It was meant to be fun. And it was fun in the beginning, but when I fell behind a little bit, I was very judgmental of that little girl again. And so it all came right back to that childhood wound of being embarrassed. And, in that embarrassment came my family knowing about my report card and having to be brought back to school to pick up my homework. It was an ongoing thing. As a kid, I just, I really struggled with school after 4th grade when I got held back, and I don't think I ever really recovered from that. So I gave myself space to be where I was. and process through that shameful feeling that came with my whole family knowing that I was not doing well in school. And, you know, everybody felt like they needed to talk to me about, I heard you're not doing well in school. That's embarrassing when you're a little kid. You know, it feels like you disappointed everybody because your parents were disappointed. And so, yeah, that's definitely a thing. And I needed to work through it. So, sorry, I'm just wrapping this because I thought it would be a fun thing to do while I was doing my work this week and giving myself a chance to play. And so I'm still playing because I really like this fan, and I think it's gonna, I already started using it even though I wasn't quite finished with it. I think it turned out really pretty. I like the purples and the blacks and the greens. But, so anyway, as I was saying, my whole family knew when I was struggling in school, and they would all take time to say, you know, I heard you're having trouble in school. And in their mind, they were being helpful and compassionate. But in my mind, it was shame. And everybody wanted to know what was going on with me. So instead of taking it as they're genuinely concerned about my well-being, I took it as how embarrassing that everybody needs to know that I'm not doing well in school. Why is it their business? Why do my parents have to tell everybody? Why is that a thing? And so over the years, I think it just kind of compounded itself into every time I wasn't where I thought I should be, or everybody else thought I should be, or self-imposed mostly, I think. But it's carried through my entire life. If I fell behind on things at work, if I didn't work enough accounts, there might be some questions raised as to why I wasn't fulfilling my end of the bargain, and I'm telling you, people can't be 100% all the time. That's a lot to ask of anyone. And I think that we can all honestly say that it adds a lot of pressure to your life when you have to live that way. So I gave all of that up this week, and I decided that Chrissy's going to do what Chrissy's going to do on Chrissy's timeline. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of it. Not where I'm at currently. I'm my own boss. And I am forever a student. So if I decide that, you know, this week I don't want to be a student, I want to be in my own space and organize, or if I want to take on a couple extra clients this week, I can. And not feel bad about some other piece that I, you know, had to put on the back burner for a little bit while I took care of my business or taking care of myself. Like, that should be okay. I don't need permission to do that. I'm a grown-up. I give myself permission to do those things. So I thought it was a really valid lesson for this week. And I did allow myself some playtime. And I did complete my course. I haven't done any readings for other people this week. And that's okay. I don't need to. Class is over. It ended last week. And we're now rolling into February as of tomorrow. So, or is it today? I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. But even that, I have no concept of dates. But I just thought it was a valuable lesson. When I saw the pattern, I was like, oh, damn. So I'd allow for that. I made space for myself to process that emotion and process those feelings of feeling less than or embarrassed, or where I needed to punish myself in some way, which taking myself away from the community that supports me, that's probably one of the worst things you can do. You know, when I told my teacher what happened, I said, you know, I kind of fell into an old pattern where I pulled myself away from the support that I had in favor of being alone. And I think that society has done that in the past to us. Like they made us feel shameful for not holding up some end of a bargain, or, you know, a self-perceived failure, which I don't really believe in failure. I believe that if you don't try, that's the only way that you can really deceive yourself into thinking that there's some sort of failure attached to something. But there's a lot of things that I don't plan on trying in this life, and that's okay. I'll try other things. The things that I'm passionate about, I try. This is not the prettiest fan in the world, but I love it. I mean, it's my first real attempt. I did do other ones, but I didn't know what I was doing, and I was kind of making it up as I go. And no matter how it turned out, I still like it. I made one that didn't really hold up, and that's okay. I had plenty more feathers where those came from. So, yeah, I think we need to just be a little gentler with ourselves and be careful with the self-imposed timelines and limitations and things that we're really not ready to do. And, you know, especially the fun things, or the things that we meant to find joy in, but found that we imposed limitations on ourselves, and, you know, taking away the community aspect of things only leads to, you know, further separating ourselves in some way, like we don't deserve community. Since when? Since when? That's a crock of shit. It's just a cop-out for not facing the reality of, I felt shame and I separated myself. So doing the work is not that hard. It's really just being honest with yourself, taking a good look at what's behind that. Why would I separate myself, knowing full well that that's the thing that'll keep me stuck, is that separation. And sure, I needed some of it, but I owned it, and I said, listen, you know, I fell behind. I was going through an old thing, and I was making peace with a part of me and loving on a part of me that I had detached from and decided to punish and not love. But in all reality, it was love that it needed the most. So take it for what you will. Maybe it's not your lesson. Maybe it is. Maybe you'll find some value in it. Maybe you won't. Either way, not for me to decide. Not for me to decide whether you have your own work to do around it, but I thought there was value in sharing the process that it took me through to from start to finish. I hope that this resonates for somebody, and I am, if nothing else, I'm brutally honest about my process. And if I would expect you to do the work, I would expect myself to do it too. And I don't really think it's work anymore. Like, I used to call it work, but really it's just processing old emotions. Like, it's not a job. I'm not getting paid to do it. It just enhances my life to do it. And so I enjoy it. And I find value in it. And I don't typically resist an opportunity to grow. So I find a lot of value in that. I hope you enjoy your Friday night. I'm enjoying mine. And I don't know. Maybe over the weekend I will put out another video with a card pull or something. I'm just gonna throw some wooden beads on here. I think this is kind of cute. It's fun. Yeah. But I hope you enjoy your weekend. And feel free to comment, like, share, subscribe. I could use more followers. And if you find that there are people that would benefit from hearing the message of hope, that it's not all chaos and bullshit, feel free, share. If you have things that you'd like to discuss, or, I've processed a lot of my old stuff. So if there's something you'd like help working through, reach out, whether it's through my channel or through my Facebook. I love taking things apart, but I also love putting things together. So isn't that cute? I enjoy it. And I actually found that I could play my Koshi chimes with my fan. Well, I can play all four at the same time just by waving my fan on the bottom of them. I was so tickled by that. I had a client over yesterday, and I went to put my fan on the little desk that my Koshi chimes are sitting on. It's a whole, like, a trapeze kind of thing. And all four of them are hanging there. And when I went to put it down, I accidentally fanned them, and they all started. I was like, what? I am totally going to use that. So I was playing around with that today, and I love the sound of it. So I have enjoyed some playtime this week, and apparently I needed it. And I think we all do from time to time. I think maybe once a week we should find a way to have some playtime. We're not meant to. Oh, that scene from The Shining, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. That just crossed my mind, but I mean, it's true. You don't have to go smashing through doors with an axe, but it is true. It makes us dull, and it makes us start to sit in our shit, and we get all grown-uppy and stuff. So, yeah, go out and play. Find something to play with. I am playing with feathers and popsicle sticks, but you could find something else to play with. But I hope that you enjoy your weekend and find some way to bring some fun into it. But I love you. Much love, many blessings.